Hello everyone and welcome to our Week 1 battle for the IBL Season 5. The New York Empoleon are starting this league cold turkey. We are just drafted and we are here now, ready to go. So my team is going to be Mega Altaria, Jirachi, rotom-heat, Terrakion, Cofagrigus, and Miltank. If you missed the team builder, I encourage you to go watch it. I tried out a new format, so a new style, so if you guys do want to go check that out and tell me in the comments how you feel about it, if you like it, don't like it, I really would appreciate that feedback this time. I know I don't ask you guys to comment very often, so this is one of those times where, like, do you like this more? Do you like this less? Kind of what do you want from me? So that I can get that feedback and improve and grow as a channel. On his side, what I'm expecting him to bring is the Raikou, Tapu Bulu, Mudsdale, Empoleon, Uxie, and Mega Charizard X. His team is absolutely terrifying, lots of legendaries there, so definitely got to watch out for that. I think we have the answers, I hope we have the answers, and we are going to get this battle underway. I will delay you guys no longer, and I will see you guys back here when we get started. Right, everyone, welcome back, and we are going to jump right into this and get this battle underway. So let's see what Pokemon he has brought with him for this match, and it is exactly what I had predicted it to be, and that was predicted that way because that was the scariest possible team that he could bring. Ooh, that was a fun noise. That he could bring against me. So, what do I see him leading with? Mudsdale, certainly a possible lead for him to set up rocks. Empoleon, same thing. Uxie, same thing. Now, he could lead Raikou as well, just to get fast Volt Switch. All of those definite options. Now, Rotom checks most of those. Uxie being the one thing Rotom doesn't really love to stare at. But that's fine. I could probably just click Overheat and then Volt Switch out on the following turn. And if he does go into the Mudsdale, he goes into the Mudsdale. I could also lead with my Jirachi, but I don't want it to stare down a Mudsdale. So I think Rotom is going to be my play. Whoops. Clicked Summary. Not what I meant to do. Altaria, you're joining the battle, but you're not. We're not looking at your summary right now. So I think Rotom is going to be the best lead here. Let's take a quick look at the Rotom calc against a Uxie. And yeah, I think Psychic's going to do about 30%. Rotom Heat's, Overheat's doing minimum 30%, depending on if he's max special defense invested. So I just realized that I deleted the little like tracker of how much percentage everyone has, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's useful, but it's not the end of the world. I'll reset it for next week. But for now, we are going to be running without it. So Rotom versus a Stealth Rocker, probably. Mudsdale. Yep. So that is what we are going to begin the season with, Rotom v Mudsdale. Now, max attack, superpower is not killing me. We could certainly see him teching like a Rock Slide. I don't remember if it's Stone Edge or not. Probably does, would be my guess for that. But let me pull up Mudsdale and check. Do you get Stone Edge? No, you get Rock Slide. You don't get Stone Edge. Okay, that is what I thought. But I'm going to click Will-O-Wisp here. As long as I don't miss, that's really useful. If he goes into his Charizard, why are you making this noise all of a sudden? Dorian comes out. We are going to get a Will-O-Wisp off on this thing. And yeah, again, not considerably the most useful thing in the world, but I do like burning things because we do have the Hex on my Cofagrigus, and he is now burnt. You're probably not Assault Vested. Why does my calc think everything on his team is Assault Vested? We don't know yet, but we're just going to click Volt Switch. We do have a bunch of speed on this Rotom, so we should be fine to outspeed the Empoleon. In fact, unless he's Scarfed, he cannot outspeed my Rotom. And he could try to set his rocks up here. That's fine. I don't have Defog this week, mostly because I wanted to make sure my stuff stayed up, and I didn't care as much about rocks on his side of the field at all. Now, he's not Assault Vested. He is reasonably bulky, but he is not Assault Vested. So, Empoleon, I'm going to mark down that it is burned really quick on my notes. And it's at about 45% now. He could easily go for a Scald here. I don't see the Slurpuff, which is amazing for my Cofagrigus, because it means that it's not quite as necessary to be at max HP the whole game. And Hex is doing about 31 to 38% to what I assume this Empoleon set is, if I wanted to go into my Cofagrigus right now. He could set up his rocks here. I could go into my Miltank, but I think Miltank at a full health makes more sense to me. So I'm going to go out into my Cofagrigus. I can set up one layer of Toxic Spikes, let the burn do a little bit more damage, and kind of scout. Yeah, he just goes for a Scald here. So, and that's going to do a little chunk. He does also get the burn on my Cofagrigus. Obviously not ideal, but it's going to be counteracted by the leftovers. And he doesn't have he doesn't have leftovers, so we don't know what item he has. But that Scald did a chunk, but nothing out of the ordinary from what I'd expect. We're looking at about 55 damage. So yeah, not potentially not special attack invested at all. That's just a medium roll from a 0 special attack. Actually, it could be a very, very high roll from a 0 special attack. So that was looking at quiet natured, but I doubt he's quiet natured right now. One more turn of burn should bring him down to where Hex takes him out, but I kind of just want to click Hex here. Although Toxic Spikes do so much for me this game, and he might just switch out on my Cofagrigus right now. And if he does, then Toxic Spikes can just force some switches and stuff. And I do have the Will-O-Wisp for pretty much anything he decides to switch into me, so I'm going to click Hex here. And he's just going to go straight for the Scald. If I can take out the Empoleon, I can get these Toxic Spikes up, and they're probably there to stay. So we are going to click Hex here. And if I can take out the Empoleon, it doesn't quite take it out. And I will die to another Scald, potentially. Although it's unlikely from the range that I'm at. Because he went from 110 to 58. What is 110 minus 58? It's 52. So yeah, this is not specially invested, which means the max roll he can hit is a 57 without a crit. So if I'm at 58, he cannot KO me. So this is my chance to set up my one layer of Toxic Spikes that I really want up this game. And he goes for the Flash Cannon. That's going to do exactly as much as a Scald. They're exactly the same. We do survive with 7 HP. He gets the Spadef drop, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. So we are going to see Flash Cannon, and the Empoleon will go down to burn here because he doesn't have leftovers. So we are going to mark down Empoleon dies to burn, and then we're going to say rotom-heat gets the kill for that. So Cofagrigus is still alive as well, which is amazing because it can come in on something like the Charizard later and get the Mummy off on the sack. So it's a really valuable Pokemon still for my team. Raikou is going to come in here. Now I don't really have a switch in for a Choice Specs Shadow Ball. I don't. Like there's just not a switch into that. Nothing takes 2. And I've noticed that on my team as a big weakness of it. But if he just goes for a Volt Switch or something, then Rotom can just eat that just fine. And again, like I said, I think my Cofagrigus still has a ton of utility to me for the late game, just because it does have the chance to turn Tough Claws into Mummy on the Charizard, so or the Stamina into Mummy. So I think Rotom is probably my switch in here. Rotom, again, yes, I might lose both of my Will-O-Wispers early, but it does have the Pain Split, so it can use that. If he's not Specs, he's not 2-hit KOing me. And so this should be, we'll see what he decides to go for. He just goes for the Volt Switch, so he might be, let's take a look at how much damage. So it brings me down to 83. And so from 125 to 83, it's 42 damage. And Rotom, that is Specs damage. That is Specs Timid damage. And if he's not Specs, but he's Modest, let's say he's like Scarf Modest, No, he can't do 40. He can't do 42. So he has to be Specs right now. So he is choice Specs. And so we do see that. Again, he's bringing all the sets that were the scariest to my team, so it's totally reasonable that he would have these sets. Out comes the Uxie at this point. Now, I don't know if I want to throw my Rotom out. It does switch into the Raikou another time or two, depending on what move he goes for. It doesn't get KO'd by a Shadow Ball at this range. And now that I know that he's Specs, I know that my Terrakion outspeeds him. He's being very protective of his Bulu, which is really interesting to me. Now, Uxie, if it's very speed invested, will outspeed me. He definitely could go for his Stealth Rocks here to try to take out my Cofagrigus. He has no Defogger, so he's going to be poisoned anyway, so he might as well get his rocks up. That's kind of where I'm looking right now. I could just click Pain Split from this particular range and kind of scout what he wants to do. Overheat would be the other option. I'm just hitting anything hard. And I think I'm just going to click Overheat. I'm not going to click Z or anything, just regular Overheat. Get that attack off, see what Uxie wants to do, what set it's running. I get a crit, which is interesting. And he sets up a Reflect. I don't like that, you know? I'm not a fan of the Reflect, and he's got leftovers. Reflect... Interesting. Okay, so that makes Rotom much more valuable to my team. And with that crit doing what it did, he's probably specially defensive. Shaman. It's named Shay. Uxie. Now, I think Rotom is extraordinarily valuable now that he has the Reflect up, so I'm going to click Volt Switch. We saw that we outsped. If he goes into his Mudsdale, that's fine. I just... He's not Light Clay, so this is the second turn of Reflect. So we're just going to mark down that, yeah, this is turn 2 of Reflect. I mean, I can see that on the bottom screen anytime as well. I don't think he's going to be offensively invested if he's running Reflect. How much does Mega Altaria do to a Uxie with Hyper Voice? It's doing about 30%. Just pretty good damage. I could also go into my Jirachi here and get my Stealth Rocks up, which will be just chipping away his team. His Charizard hasn't come in yet, and he has no way of getting rid of them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go into my Jirachi at this point. If he sets up his Stealth Rocks, again, it is what it is. He goes for the Psychic. He's got the Reflect up, so... and he is getting Leftovers Recovery, which is annoying, but it isn't the end of the world. This thing can go down later on in the game, so I'm just going to click Stealth Rocks at this point. I do have the Wish, and can definitely Wish Pass into my Cofagrigus if I manage to predict correctly what he wants to do. So he's going to go for his... Oh no, that's me. That's me going for my Stealth Rocks. What is he going to go for? The way he played Mudsdale makes me think that's the thing he wants to put Stealth Rocks on. So he goes for the Thunder Wave. Which is really interesting. And my Jirachi is now paralyzed, but it means it can't be burned. So that's something. Now, he has 2 more turns of Reflect, and I am now paralyzed. I do have the Heal Bell on my Miltank, which can get rid of the burn on the Cofagrigus as well as the para on the Jirachi. And this thing can't touch Rotom at all, so I'm going to go for a Wish here, and then probably Wish Pass into Rotom, just because I know that's a pretty safe switch in. So he's going to U-turn, he outspeeds, that's fine. We're going to see what he goes into here. If it's Raikou, that puts me in an interesting position. Tyler is Mudsdale, which gets poisoned. And Stealth Rocked. So we're going to go for a Wish. Mudsdale has Leftovers. Okay. Now he's probably going to want to go for a Ground-type move. Miltank is definitely a switch-in at this point. Superpower does not Oko Miltank, because I'm reasonably bulky. Rotom could come in on the Mudsdale. And we know he's leftovers, not assault vested. And Superpower doesn't kill. Rock Slide, she just can. It has its a roll, but it can kill if he's max attack adamant. Altaria's not weak to Heavy Slam, nor does it get hit by Earthquake right now. I think my play is probably into Miltank, even though I wanted to get the Wish into Rotom. And because I think he's going to go for, he could, well, the thing is, a rock move right now would be really risky, but the safe middle ground play is into Miltank every time. It's going to be healed. I can get the heal bell off on my Jirachi. And so I think that is going to be the safest play. Nothing he does is going to Oko my Miltank. And so he's going to set up his own Stealth Rock, so Rotom would have absolutely been an amazing switch in there. But that's fine. So he's got Stealth Rock on his Mudsdale, and those are here to stay, which is not ideal, because that means my Coffee Breeders can't come back in now. But this is a free heal bell for my team, which kind of needs it right now. So with the Thunder Wave being gone, as well as the burn on the Cough, which no longer matters, it's pretty free. I don't reveal Seismic Toss quite yet, which is great, because that's going to 2-hit KO the Uxie. I can also Toxic the Uxie if it comes back in, which it does, probably to reset the Reflect. So I can Toxic this thing, since I don't believe Uxie is going to take that much damage. It's definitely not going to take that much from a single Seismic Toss. And so we're just going to click Toxic on the Uxie here. If he goes out into his Bulu or his Zard, then that's fine. And so we can get a Toxic off on this thing. He might Thunder Wave me. That's real. I can always Heal Bell off the Thunder Wave. So he does just set up another Reflect. And actually, what I would hope happens now is that he's going to stay in and try to do some damage or Thunder Wave me. Toxic's going to rack up slightly, and he's going to stall out his own turns of Reflect. Now, I do outspeed his Bulu. I don't outspeed his Charizard, potentially, depending on what set he's running. But I think it's time to reveal Seismic Toss. It's just going to chip away at something. If he brings in his Bulu, I just click Toxic and let my Miltank take whatever hit it needs to take. We know that I outspeed this Uxie as well, and then his Charizard can come in and, or his Bulu or Charizard can come in. Now again, remember, well, I don't know if you guys remember, I talk about in the team builder, my whole plan is to chip at his team until Terrakion can come in and sweep. That's all we're really here to do right now. And that's exactly what I wanted him to do, was stay in and click the Psychic against me, because it stalls out a turn of his Reflect. Now, he can't switch back in with Stealth Rocks, and so I can just click Milk Drink here and let the Toxic take him out, stall out an additional turn potentially, depending on where the Toxic roll falls, and I'll end up in the same place with Psychics, although if he does get special defense drops, that's really bad. So I could just click Seismic Toss and take him out, but I think the play is going to be, well, the thing is, if he does U-turn, and I Milk Drink, then he's got his Uxie alive, but like, what does it do at this range? You know, that's really the big question, is what does Uxie do from this range? So yeah, I'm gonna click Milk Drink, we'll see what he does, but I want to stall out a turn of the Reflect if I can. Reveals my whole set, so now he knows my entire set, which is okay. So he just stays in Psychics, which is fine. We're going to be in exactly the same spot that we were last time, and he's going to... I really want him to survive. I really want you to survive this poison. I don't think you do, but I want you to. Oh, you do! Perfection! That's what I wanted. So now I just get to click Seismic Toss, take out the Uxie here, and then he's only got one turn of Reflect left. So Miltank kills Uxie with Seismic Toss. And that's what I wanted. Because that allows my... That's just one thing out of the way of my Terrakion sweeping. And Mudsdale's still a little too healthy for me. But it does switch in, it takes rocks, it takes more poison damage every turn that it's in battle. That's what I want. I want it to take that poison damage every time. We don't really know his full set yet, so I'm curious what he's going to do. He hasn't brought out his Zard or his Bulu yet. Either one, the Zard, not that scary to me. And physically defensive. Dragon Claw's doing about 30% to 40%. He's going to get poison. He's going to get toxic if he brings that in. He just gets regular poisoned if he brings in his Bulu right here. And he still doesn't know if I'm Thick Fat or if I'm Sapsipper. He's probably going to Superpower. I could Seismic Toss, because I do outspeed you. But I think... wow. Not a great time to start coughing. I'm a little bit sick right now, so you guys are going to have to deal with that. I could go into Cough here, which... that's ironic. Which would be able to... just go down to whatever he... Well, it's going to go down Stealth Rocks. I scout whatever he does. If he's Scarfed, or whatever... But I kind of want to know if he's Scarfed, so I could just go for a... I could just go for a Milk Drink, because I'm going to take any hit from this thing, unless he's, like, banded. But I need to know, is Miltank important to me for the rest of this fight? Yeah, kinda. It's so healthy right now. I can't bring Coffagrigus in again, so let's scout. Let's sack and scout. It's gotta die at some point, unless I'm never going to bring it in again, but I'm not going to play like that. I don't play for differential well. Dies to Stealth Rock. And that was from Mudsdale. And he does go for the Nature's Madness, which is fascinating. And he's got the leftovers as well. Okay. So does he have the, like, Guardian of Alola Z move on this Bulu? No, he got leftovers. We just saw that. Oh no, we didn't see leftovers. We saw Grassy Terrain. I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but I should be. At this point, I could go into Rotom and click my Z move. If he's Scarfed in Nature's Madness, then he can't kill me. If he's not Scarfed, then I outspeed him. Because Rotom is EV'd to always outspeed Bulu. And I can go for my Z Overheat if I want to. Regular Overheat does just straight kill it, so I don't have to Z, but I would like to Z. So, and I think this is one of my chances to get Rotom in and click on that Z Overheat. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my Rotom here. It's going to take some Stealth Rocks. It does have the speed investment to outspeed the Bulu. Z Overheat is going to hit something incredibly hard. It doesn't quite Oko the Mudsdale or Raikou from this range, but Charizard after Stealth Rocks doesn't want to take this. It doesn't give me a special attack drop, and it definitely drops the Bulu at this moment. So, yeah, he is going to switch out. That's fine. Tyler's going to come in. That is the Mudsdale. I need this thing damaged, heavily damaged. And then we outspeed it the following turn, so we're not special attack dropped, and we can just go for another Overheat if we want to. This Rotom still has value to me. It still has another switch in left. It outspeeds the Bulu, and we assume he's not Scarfed. Scarf Nature's Madness would be pretty wild. So we are just going to get this huge Z Overheat off, and that actually straight KOs the Mudsdale. I actually didn't expect it to do that. So Rotom Heat kills Mudsdale with Inferno Overdrive. And now he's got the Charizard. He does take 50% from rocks, but doesn't get poisoned this time. This first switch in, it doesn't get poisoned. But I'm okay with it taking 50% from rocks. Bulu is poisoned and damaged. Out comes Deebs, the Charizard. So he could very well Dragon Dance here. Very well. Certainly a thing he can do. I'm not at minus special attack or anything. He could Dragon Dance. My Terrakion outspeeds him at +1, but if he gets himself to +2, then I'm in a lot of trouble. So what I need to do is force him to not be able to get to +2. By Volt Switching into something that threatens this enough that he has to attack it, like the Mega Altaria. Because Mega Altaria with Hyper Voice should kill a Mega Charizard X if he's not defensive. And we can scout if he's defensive with his Volt Switch if he does go for a Dragon Dance. So that's what I'm going to do. And if Rotom goes down, then Rotom goes down. But I'd so much rather him not be able to get to a free +2 than keep my Rotom, to be honest. And he does set up the Dragon Dance. And this is why I need to scout how defensive he is with the Rotom, and then threaten him with Mega Altaria, and then go into my Terrakion. Not defensive. Not defensive. That's important. That chip damage is huge. Mega Altaria doesn't threaten the Raikou that much. Doesn't threaten the Bulu that much. And so I can go into it here. He's at +1. I do resist both of his stabs. In fact, I'm immune to one of them. And so, depending on if he's Adamant or Jolly, my Altaria can survive a Flare Blitz, potentially, anyway, which is kind of interesting. But this is where I just click Hyper Voice. And if I go down, I go down. If he's Adamant-natured, either way, if he's Adamant-natured, it's a roll, and not in his favor. Yeah, it's a roll and not in his favor. If he's Jolly, then there's just no chance that he kills without a crit. With Flare Blitz. Now, I don't know what move he would tech for Mega Altaria. I don't think this thing definitely doesn't get Ice Punch. So we are going to Mega Evolve here and see what his Charizard's going to do. Fire Punch. That's not going to kill. And Hyper Voice. So that's a dead Charizard X. Oh my god, that was disgusting. Mega Altaria kills Mega Charizard X with Hyper Voice. And if he does go into Raikou here, which should be his switch-in, then I kind of want to know what he's spexing, that's a word, that I just made up on the fly right now. What do you specs yourself into is really the question. And what's the least important member of my team? Because Altaria does handle the Bulu. I mean, it doesn't OHKO it, but it does 1v1 it pretty well. It outspeeds. I have Roost. Woodhammer's only doing 50% to 60%, so I can take a few of those, Roost off some damage, and then Cotton Guard if I need to. So Altaria does have value to me, even at the range that it's at. Jirachi doesn't. Jirachi really has no value to me, so I want to know what you're spexing yourself into. Again, the real trick here is is waiting until the right time to get my Terrakion in, and clicking whatever move I choose to click. If his Raikou's damaged, then it's Poison Jab, and he just goes for a Thunderbolt. Okay. And we do survive that, and we do get a Figgy Berry, and we do get Grassy Terrain, and so he's going to be chipping away, chipping away. How much? The calc is important here for Terrakion to a Raikou. I always love, guys, during these battles, doing a calc for a Pokemon that's not in the battle. Poison Jab's doing 35 to 41% to a non-defensive Raikou, and we can scout how defensive he is with Jirachi. Potentially, if we can take this Thunderbolt, which I don't really know. I think we can. That means I could Wish, potentially. Or I can just Drain Punch for damage. He's got to be timid to outspeed things. And does his Tapu Bulu take 2 close combats? Yeah, it does. Pretty well. But I have so many switch-ins right now, I think we'll be okay. I could click Wish here, since I know that he's going for Thunderbolts, but I don't think that's the best play. I think just getting damage off on this thing with Iron Head or Drain Punch is probably my best play. He does stay in, he does go for the Thunderbolt. Let's see, we do survive that. We click Iron Head. We obviously can't flinch this thing because it outspeeds, but without the grassy terrain, we are just going to keep chipping away at it. And we saw how much that did, and that did a lot more than I was expecting it to do. I'm going to be honest, that did more damage than I was expecting. Why did that do so much? Was that a crit? Why did that do so much? Wow, that did so much more than I was expecting. That almost means that Poison Jab, like I'm in Poison Jab range just about. After one more turn of Toxic, I'm very likely in Poison Jab range, and one Specs Thunderbolt doesn't kill Terrakion, so I can just come in with that, click Poison Jab twice on this if I have to. And I'm just gonna Iron Head again. He can't switch out. So he has to Thunderbolt, and yeah, so Raikou kills Jirachi with Thunderbolt. So I could just come in after that Poison. That should be range, with how much that Iron Head did, that should be range for Poison Jab to kill this with the Terrakion. Like, for sure. And if it doesn't, for whatever reason, then I survive a Thunderbolt. He dies to Poison. And if he doesn't, Miltank can survive a Thunderbolt as well. Maybe not from the range it's at. Maybe I should sack off one more thing. Maybe I should sack off one more thing in order to put him in the range where Terrakion guarantees, because just because a crit or a para would really ruin my day. It would really make me sad. The other option is just going for a close combat, making sure the Raikou dies, and then switching it out and switching it back in on the Bulu, which is probably the safer play here. Just because there's no reason that I can't sack another thing off if I have to. But I think Poison Jab kills from here. Like, okay, here's the situation. And this is the thing. If I'm in the GBA D-League, I click Close Combat, I switch out, and then I come back in and click Poison Jab. And win the game. But this isn't the GBA D-League. This is the IBL. And I don't think the IBL competition's lower, but I want to have more fun with it. So I'm going to click Poison Jab, risk him not dying and not critting, and critting, and killing my Terrakion, and making it so that my Altaria has to come in on his Bulu, instead of the Terrakion getting the potential 2 kills that it could get otherwise, by easily clicking Close Combat, and if his Bulu comes in, sacking something, going back into this, and then clicking Poison Jab twice, because after the Stealth Rocks, it's guaranteed to kill. But I'm going to click Poison Jab, because it's more fun this way. And if it kills from here, then we are fine. And so we are going to click Poison Jab. This should kill. There's no reason it shouldn't kill. And so yeah, so we are going to kill the Raikou. I think this is a more entertaining way of this game going down. Kills Raikou with Poison Jab. And this thing's going to come in. It's going to take a little bit of chip damage. It's going to get its Grassy Surge up, but we do have the Poison Jab. We outspeed because we are Scarfed, and even if he's Scarfed, he can't outspeed. We are locked into Poison Jab, which I am totally okay with. Maybe he's got the Kibia Berry? That'd be really crazy if he had Kibia Berry, goes for a Horn Leech, gets a ton of damage off. Like, whoa, But we don't see the Kibia Berry pop. We do see the Tapu Bulu go down to the Terrakion, and exactly how I was hoping this endgame would go. Terrakion kills Tapu Bulu with Poison Jab, and that's a win in the books for the New York Empoleon, breaking our 3-league first week losing streak. But great game to GarchompTheGod. Go check out the Lawrence Talonflames guys in this season, and I hope you're excited for the IBL. I can't confuse that with the TBL or the ICBA or any of the other leagues. Hope you guys are excited for this. I'm really excited for this league. I think it'll be so much fun, and I'm going to have fun with it. That's the plan. That's the expectation. So hope you all enjoyed this battle, and I will see you all next week as we take on Darude and the San Jose Panquakes. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everybody.